Well, it's probably a little bit of a blur, but I remember coming into the room and can't quite remember who was there. I think it might have been Dougie Evans and Clarko, and just let me know that I was going to be the captain. And yeah, it took me as a bit of a surprise, but took a while to sink in. To be honest.
Must say, and this is not to your detriment, but it wasn't a Cox played field at the time, was it? I mean, there weren't blokes yet. There was the younger Mitchell and Hodge, but they weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
And there weren't a lot of outstanding contenders, were there?
Yeah, well, I mean, Crawford stood down.
Yep.
He'd been a standout leader at the club for a long, long time. And I think that the fact that Crawford made the decision to stand down was all part of the creating a whole new era. And, yeah, we probably were a little bit light on because everyone had sort of sat under Crawford's shadow, so to speak, and probably a lot of people expected Spider to be the next captain.
Did you?
Yeah, I probably was one of those people that thought he would get it as well. Yeah, and then it was myself and Joel. Joel was the vice, so that was that, and then off we went, and it was a very quick learning curve, to say the least.
I must say, I think most people, certainly people at Hawthorn, and I think those of us on the outside, it's understated your contribution to the evolution of the modern Hawthorn. I mean, I think the culture changed when you were there, the way the team played and what the expectations were. Do you agree with that?
No, it definitely did change. I mean, it was a conscious decision of Clarkson when he came in. It was the introduction of leading teams, which we've all heard so much about. They came into the footy club at the same time. And I suppose, as a new captain trying to find my feet, I really embraced the whole leading teams mantra and what it was all about. And it was pretty tough. You know, there was open and honest conversations was one of the big ones. And for a player who felt that you probably had, we all respected each other within the footy club, but you're certainly not on a Shane Crawford level in terms of when it comes to ability to play the game. So had to adopt a slightly different leadership style, and we just set a path of trying to create a group of leaders rather than just trying to rely on one or two within the footy club, and set about setting a whole new level of standards. And I think that was probably one of the legacies of my days, was I embraced it. And it did take some time for certainly some of the older guys to really embrace it. And probably by his own admission, Crawford would be one of those guys that probably didn't embrace it early enough. But then when he did, and I think it probably took a couple of years, when Crawford really got into what the whole program was about, I think it just took the club to the next level. So it really didn't surprise me that once he really bought into it, that the club just took a whole nother step.
There was a game in 2004, Richie, and the Hawks